All right, Angry Bears fan podcast number 82. Week one is upon us. Final cuts, practice squad. We've been talking about would you rather with Caleb. But first, the most important thing, we'll touch base on the Titans game upcoming. Bears at home. Caleb's first game. Bears are 4.5-point favorites last time I checked. And yeah, it's time. The Caleb era has begun. We haven't lost a game since Caleb is touchdown in Chicago preseason, albeit, but we're looking to build upon that, and I think everybody expects the Bears to win on Sunday.
Yeah, seven days away. I mean, realistically, you cannot come out like you did last year, week one against Green Bay, and absolutely lay an egg. I never want to say week one is like a must win, but this is almost, you can't lose to the Titans. You
I
just
agree.
cannot. So this is as close of a must-win game as there is without it being a must-win game. Because like I said, you cannot lose to the Titans week one. Because starting 1-1 with the week two matchup Sunday Night Football against Houston, is a lot better than starting off 0-2, especially with how hyped up the city's been, how the confidence going around the locker room. If you start off 0-2, I I
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
even
I mean,
know.
the pressure's on, like you said. Hard Knocks, media's picking. Caleb. I think I wrote something down here. Voted on by the NFL fans. Of the NFL sent out a survey to like all the fans they have in the database, and 77% of the fans believe um, the Bears are headed in the right direction. We got Hard Knocks. ESPN guys are picking us to win. Caleb's, getting picked to be the next guy. Like you said, being 0-2 would be really deflating, and all the naysayers will get to come out, all the haters, and be like, point and say, hey, yeah, Caleb isn't that good. But I don't see that happening. We've been looking really smooth. Shane Waldron's been calling a good game. Even if I think if Justin Fields was starting for us today, I think I would expect us to win. Um, so I definitely need. I can't imagine we don't win with Caleb. And again, not to slight Justin, I just think Justin and Caleb, based on everything we've seen so far, at least, Justin was average. So if Caleb's average, we should beat them. Like, might look
Yeah,
different, but if he's average, we should win a lot of these games. And like you said, if we can't beat the Titans, then we're not beating the Texans. So then we're 0-2. Like, and again, it's the NFL. There's parity, and everybody can bounce back, but it would just be a lot. Like I said, go 4-0 the preseason, do Hard Knocks. Everybody's been talking about the Bears, Heisman winner, generational quarterback, and then it could start 0-2 when everybody's been talking about how good you are, which does not feel good. But I expect big things from the defense. I think they'll carry us. I do think the offense won't be firing on all cylinders. Caleb is still a rookie. Keenan Allen's first time on the Bears. A lot of these guys, we do have veterans, but Swift's first time out there for the Bears. Everett, a lot of guys. Um, Offensive line has been a lot better, but they've been shaky at times as well. And yeah, we'll see. But like I said, I think the defense will carry us.
yeah, the defense has to, especially with a rookie quarterback. I mean, it's not just week one; it's the entire season. The
Yeah.
defense has to really step up, kind of give Caleb short fields whenever possible. Um, I think he will realistically. I mean, they have a really good punter in Torrey Taylor that can pin, the opposing offenses deep as well, kind of flip field position. It's going to take a total team effort with a rookie quarterback as talented as Caleb Williams is, to just kind of everybody's picking the Bears, as the playoff team, 9, 10, 11 wins, so on and so forth. So in order to do that, it's got to be all four phases of the game, including, home games with the crowd getting just absolute. I mean, I expect Soldier Field to be absolutely explosive
My mom will be
on
there.
Sunday.
Jordan and
Will
Chris are
she?
going. Yeah,
Nice.
she'll be in town this week, and she's going. She said she's going to game. She said she's sitting in section 136, and then Chris and my brother are going.
Nice. Yeah, no,
Nobody
it's
invited me, but whatever.
they got to get off to a good start, and like you
Run the
said,
ball. Yeah, we got to run the ball.
I really feel like they will. Shane Waldron's whole thing is play action, a lot of play action. So I expect DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert to, get a good amount of touches on Sunday, probably anywhere from 15 to 20 for DeAndre Swift. And I'd say a good 10 from Khalil Herbert, probably. So you're looking, hopefully building off of some play action, and that's you got to score some points at the end of the day. The
Yeah.
offense has got to score some points. You can't rely on the defense all the time to score points for you. So, got to be able to put the ball in the end zone. We saw a little bit of red zone struggles in the preseason. Hopefully, those kind of clean themselves up during the regular season. Shane Waldron, everybody else, just kind of let's get in there. Let's get the victory. Let's start off 1-0 and move on to Houston for Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, that's going to be the real big matchup. Like I said, if we are 1-0 going into Houston, everybody wants Caleb to do what Stroud did. Stroud, Caleb's supposed to be better than Stroud. Based on indicators or whatever you want to say. But yeah, I want to, like you said, I want to see the no red zone struggles. Defense get a couple turnovers. Somebody emerge as some kind of pass rush threat. The Titans got a good offensive line. The last 2 first-round draft picks have been offensive linemen. They didn't have too bad of an offensive line prior to that either. So we'll get to see. I want to see Dexter and Booker, Terrell, or Taylor, somebody step up and make some plays outside of Sweat. And hopefully Eric Washington picks up where he left off, and we still see the blitzes too. Kyler Gordon getting in there, the linebackers getting involved. That's what I'll be focused on. It's a pretty boring week 1 game. It's not like the Packers last year. The Titans are a down team. They got a rookie, second-year quarterback who was a second-round pick, not really that good. Titans aren't known for the quarterback play. They lost their best player. They've got some veterans out at wide receiver, but you know what I mean. No, but D-Hop's on the decline. Is he playing? I thought he was.
I don't think so. I think he's out for week 1.
Yeah, so they won't even have D-Hop. Mediocre running backs. Jeffrey Simmons on the defense is pretty nice, but besides that, pretty mediocre defense. So I think we should go out there and put up 20-plus points, and we hold them under 20, and we get the job done. You like that 4.5? I've been tight on it. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'd probably take the 4. The 4.5. I think that's a good line. I think the Bears
I think
win
the
by
Bears
touchdown.
cover.
Yeah, I think the Bears by
I think
touchdown.
the Bears cover. There was a couple of I bet the over for Caleb Williams passing yards too, just because I want to see kind of explosive plays. I think at 230.
Yeah, I looked at it. I can't remember it. Yeah, 230. Yeah,
It was like 200. Yeah, it was 230. I bet the over on that. I think there's
that's probably. Yeah.
I think there's going to be some explosive plays off play action that you see realistically, and I like that line. I like DJ Moore to go over in catches. It's like 5.5, I think. So I think he'll have 6 catches or more.
That'll be interesting. I'm ready to see that. That's another storyline I'm looking forward to into the game is like, and 4 quarters, who is Caleb going to lean on? I know we all like DJ Moore. We probably all assume he's the best in the team, but Keenan Allen is no slouch. Things in camp, if you've been watching Hard Knocks, Keenan and Caleb have a little bit of connection. Cam, Komet's still out there. Swift. Yeah, he's exactly Rome. Swift, I'm guessing, is going to get 4 or 5 catches a game. Like, it's going to be interesting, the dynamic of the Bears.
This is the most loaded they've been on offense in a very, very long time. Yes. Like I said, probably the 2013 season with Martellus Bennett, Matt Forte, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, and Jay Cutler. Now they gotta turn this talent into some victories.
Yeah, coaching now.
I do like the Bears to cover 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not on the Titans. I don't think Will Levis. I think you were a little higher on Levis than me, but yeah, he's not it. And the Bears, I hope they come out firing on all cylinders, especially the defense. Oh, there we go. Sorry, you watching the USC game, and I've got them +3. They're down 4 right now. But all right, just a little talk about the Bears game. We'll go in depth next week. Like I said, we're gonna have to figure out what day we're gonna do it. Maybe right after the Bears game, depending on how our schedules line up. But before the season started, we wanted to do this. The Would You Rather Caleb Williams edition. We did it with Justin Fields.
Now, what are the parameters for this? Are
Oh, we
we
talked about this before. We're just still for this season, like we do. Like we'll talk about for this season. It's not if we're talking if we. It's unfair to do the future because there's like realistically there's only like 4 guys, 5 guys, like you would say move forward. But we'll talk about going into this season. Who would you rather have, Caleb Williams, or and we'll start with the NFC because this is the weaker one and much more interesting. Geno Smith.
I'd rather have Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think I have the same thing. I mean, like I said, worst case, Caleb's average and Geno's average. Kyler Murray.
Caleb Williams again.
I would agree
I,
with you because
I
this is
like
what I'll say.
Kyler.
I like Kyler too. I think Kyler is Caleb's floor, and I don't think he'll be any worse than Kyler was as a rookie or now or whatever. And I think Kyler is pretty good. I think he's borderline top 10 right now. I think if he ever played a whole season, he probably would be top 10 if he had the talent around him because I do think he's very good. But I think looking at Kyler, they're from the same offense, same arm talent level, in my opinion. I think he's got a lot of arm talent. He's just a small guy, so it kind of hurt them. But I think Kyler Murray is Caleb's floor, which is a good thing. I don't think Caleb will be any worse than Kyler Murray is. And I think Kyler Murray's pretty good. I think he's a franchise quarterback, which he got paid as such. Brock Purdy. This is a good one.
Is Matt Eberflus a head coach or is Kyle Shanahan?
We're talking about we'll say on our team. We're talking about our team.
Then I'd go with Caleb Williams only because Kyle Shanahan is not Brock Purdy's coach.
But I mean, you'll just say like if Kyle Shanahan was calling plays for Brock Purdy or Caleb Williams was calling or Kyle was calling plays for Caleb, it'd be the same shit. So I would agree. Like I hate to discredit Purdy and what he's done because he's played amazing. He was almost MVP. He's even before that, the year before that, he was really good before he got hurt. He's been to the Super Bowl. He went, he lost in OT to Mahomes in the Super Bowl. He was amazing in that game. Drove down the field to
I mean, that's that one's gotta be tough because, like you said, I don't want to discredit Brock Purdy by any means. And maybe this is playing a little bit of bias, hometown bias because of it, but I mean, he was the last pick of the draft for a reason.
Yes, I agree. I think he's the Kyle Shanahan. I think he can play.
Baller.
Yes, but Kyle Shanahan is a great coach, and I think that hurts him. Last one, the NFC West, Matt Stafford.
For this year.
Yes. On our team, and I'll go for
Matt Stafford's thing. Is Matt Stafford does he play?
Healthy Matt Stafford gonna play the whole year.
I'm taking Matthew Stafford.
I would agree with you on that one, especially on a stack team. We've already seen Matt Stafford put him on a top 10 defense, surround him with weapons, and he can get the job done. Caleb has not proven that. And even Caleb, he was on he went on a little podcast run. And he even talked about how good Matt Stafford is.
He loves Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys do. CJ Stroud's always talking about how good Matt Stafford is. Anytime, any chance he gets when he's talking about who the best quarterbacks are. So yeah, I'll definitely go with Matt Stafford. The NFC North, Jordan Love.
For this upcoming season, just seeing what he did with the Packers wide receivers, I'd probably take Jordan Love.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go Caleb because I think it was just 1 year with Jordan Love, so I'm not gonna set anything in stone. Maybe they'll get some tape on him. I think the name of the coach is escaping me right now, but I thought he calls an amazing Matt LaFleur. His offensive scheme is amazing. When they play us, I'm just watching the game and I'm like, why aren't we doing any of this? Like motions and the route combinations.
The dude that comments on all of our posts, that Packers fan or whatever, Packers for life dude or whatever, he's gonna give me so much shit for saying that. But realistically, I mean, if we're talking just this upcoming season, what he was able to do with the wide receiver core that he had there. I mean, granted, yes, Matt LaFleur is a great play caller, but
he played him. He played great too. Yeah.
I just seeing what I saw the second half of the season, until proven otherwise, I would go with Jordan Love.
Right. This one's probably easy. JJ McCarthy. As much as I like JJ, obviously it's Caleb. I do like JJ McCarthy, and I do think in 10 years from now, I think JJ McCarthy will probably be the second best out of all these guys. I just really like JJ. I think he's a winner. He's from Illinois. He played in Michigan. And he's got a lot of arm talent. I just think because he was on Michigan and he didn't put up Heisman numbers, he was slept on. Not that much, obviously, because he still got drafted in the first round. And I think the Vikings organization is pretty good. They can't get the Super Bowl done, but they usually do a good job of eventually piecing a quality team together. They're usually not bad for more than a year. They
Yeah.
draft well. They, they hire decent coaches. So I think they'll be, he's got Justin Jefferson, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good. That was an easy
And
one.
yeah, that's the easy one. Yeah, I won't even do Sam Darnold because, and then the last one, Jared Goff. I think this one's close. This is Purdy-esque. Um, but I would have to go Goff. I like
I
Caleb a lot better than Goff. I think he is better than Goff, but numbers don't lie.
if we
Goff,
if we were taking futures into
yes,
consideration,
yes, obviously it'd be Caleb. We can't
but
even do it with futures because
yeah,
it's going to be Caleb over everybody. But
but
yeah,
Jared Goff, I agree. You know how I feel about Jared Goff. I feel
yeah,
like he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. It's just, we talk about, what he did with Sean McVay and the Rams offense, but he also went to Detroit and did it in Detroit's offense.
yes.
He took Amon-Ra St. Brown and made, a fourth round wide receiver, and he was my first pick in the fantasy draft this last week. Eighth
Yeah, he's
overall
a
pick.
top
He's
10 wide
You know what I'm
receiver.
saying? He's just Jared Goff again. He's a scrappy baller. He's a Matthew Stafford-esque. I think Matthew Stafford's he doesn't have as
I
good
don't
of an
know. I think
arm,
Matt Stafford is
but
scrappy, but at Matt Stafford's arm talent on that. But I would agree with a lot of you said. I think I was hard on Goff, and I do think after a couple years of seeing him more in our division, outside of Sean McVay's offense, where he can't take credit for it, like you said, he's just extremely underrated. I think a lot of the time people talk about what he can't do, and they just leave out like the amazing season or like career he's had so far. Like the career he's had so far is better than like 80. You know what I mean? Anybody who's not in the Hall of Fame, like
yeah,
outside of that, like he's had a better almost anybody who's not going to be going into the Hall of Fame. So he's been to a Super Bowl. He went blow for blow with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Not blow for blow. He had a bad game, but he had a great Super Bowl run. He's thrown for 4,000 yards like 5 times. Um, and yeah, so it's hard to put Caleb over somebody like that who's just got so much proof on paper. But all right, NFC South, David, or is it no Derek Carr, not David. Obviously, he's better than David Carr. But
for this one, I'm going Caleb
yeah,
Williams.
Caleb. I think Derek's done. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, that's an easy one. Next, Baker Mayfield, an old Lincoln.
I'm going Caleb again.
This one, I think this is kind of like golf to me. I think I would have to go Baker. Especially with the pieces we have a good team too. I think Baker is not an amazing quarterback. I think you put him on a good team with a good defense and people to throw to. I think he does fine. And again, 4,000-yard passer multiple times, won playoff games, won a really tough division in the AFC North before. Been through adversity too, bounced around teams for realistically no reason.
Yeah, I know.
If looking back now, I think the Browns are really kicking themselves. But I would go Baker on that one. I think they're from the same. I think Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma when Baker was there, right?
Yes.
Similar
Yes,
offense, I think. But I think I would have to go Baker. Bryce Young.
this is Caleb Williams all day.
I think I would say Caleb Williams too, just because Bryce Young got his chance and he didn't look well. But I do think Bryce Young is eventually going to. I don't know if surprise is the word because he is a Heisman-winning first-round overall pick, but I think he'll be better. I think
He'll have a bounce back year.
Yeah, I
but
think the team was just that bad around him. Also being a rookie, high expectations. But yes, Caleb is better than Bryce Young. And last but not least in the NFC South, Kirk Cousins.
I'm going Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think to stay on to not be a hypocrite from the things I said in the past, I think I would have to go Kirk Cousins. Well, because he's had a golf-esque type of career outside of the playoff success.
Yeah, he can't win in the playoffs,
but he's 4,000 yards, like 10 seasons in a row now, 8 seasons, like a lot of, you know what I mean? He's a lock for 4,000 yards. Not always the best receiving cores either. He did it with Thielen, and so yeah, Kirk Cousins. And all right, the NFC East. We'll start with Danny Dimes. I know your answer on this one. We were having the debate if Tyson Bagent was better than Danny Dimes. And obviously it is. Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's Caleb Williams. It's Tyson Bagent over Danny Dimes for me.
Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. I almost said Redskins. I want to say Redskins.
Caleb Williams again. I like Jaden Daniels. I think he'll probably, he'll have a really good rookie year as well. He's more of a dual threat than Caleb Williams is, but I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, same thing. I think the NFL is in a really good spot. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be really good. I think McCarthy's going to be good. I think Penix is pretty good. Um, Odds would say that one of them or two of them would have to suck, but I don't see it. Like, maybe in. I think, like I just said, I think Bryce Young's gonna have a bounce back year. So I think there's going to be a lot of good young quarterbacks in the NFL, and that'll be fun. There's still a lot of good, not so old quarterbacks. I wouldn't call them young anymore, but Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes. You know what I mean? Realistically, they got 10 more years in them. Like Josh Allen and Mahomes probably play for another 10 years each at least. Especially what they're paying people now, and you know what I mean. Maybe Josh Allen will get hurt, but Mahomes doesn't take much of a beating. All right, Dak Prescott.
I'm taking Dak
Oh
Prescott.
yeah, that's easy one. I mean,
Yeah.
Dak. I like Caleb a lot. And if we were to take all things considered, I would in the future. Obviously, I would take Caleb because Dak's about to get $70 million if he plays halfway decent. Right now, it's 60 or nothing, or probably like 65 at this point. If he plays like he did last year, it was basically. I personally thought he should have been the MVP. He's definitely going to get $70 million. But yes, Dak again has done it with good receivers, bad receivers. I think he's under a little Jared Goff thing too, where people talk a lot about what he can't do and not what he has done. Not everybody's going to be, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. Not everybody's going to be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes or these guys, but Dak has been amazing. And last quarterback in the NFC, Jalen Hurts.
I think Jalen Hurts is the most overrated quarterback in the league. Realistically,
I don't know if most overrated. I think they did a poll actually. I think he was 2, and I think Josh Allen was 1. I don't see the Josh Allen as overrated thing. I see the I don't
see it either.
I understand the debate that maybe we should compare him to Mahomes, but the guy's amazing. Like when I'm watching him, it's like he reminded me of like what I wanted Caleb to do in college. Where like when you're that good, you're just a superhero. Like you do everything. You're doing like Mahomes does it all. Like
I just don't. I don't know. Again, this is the bias coming out. I personally do not like Jalen Hurts.
What do you mean, like his game? I think he's a good. I think he's a great kid, Lincoln Riley kid too. I think he's a little too cheesy at times. But I would agree that he is overrated. I don't know about the most overrated, but I think he's always been on a great team outside of the first year they had him. It was Eagles tank and they do it right. But the Eagles are a great run organization. They usually get good coaches. They've had a super team the last 2 or 3 years. They'll have one again this year outside of missing Kelsey. But he's got 2 number 1 receivers. You know what I mean? Always a good running back. For the last half a decade, the best offensive line the Eagles have had in the league. So, but I don't know. I guess I would say Caleb. I think because I'm just thinking if I put Caleb on the Eagles, he could do all that himself. And I do think Jalen Hurts is I don't know. I think he's good. I think he's just an average quarterback on an above average team, so he puts up inflated numbers. But that was the NFC. I think the AFC is a little tougher. NFC, like I don't know, NFC, they got a lot of young guys. And like I said, Kyler, Purdy, Love's young, JJ McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young. I mean, Penix will be taking over for Kirk Cousins in a year or two. I don't know how that contract works. Kirk Cousins always gets guaranteed contracts, so you got to pay him. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's a weird draft pick. I mean, just maybe he'll get traded. Dak's about to get $70 million, but Jaden Daniels is young and good. Jalen Hurts ain't going nowhere, even though we badmouth him, but he'll probably be the quarterback for the Eagles for the next 5 years and be average to above average. All right, the AFC. Let's not drag it on too long. AFC West, Gardner Minshew.
Caleb Williams.
Or Aiden O'Connell, obviously. I think it'll be Gardner Minshew, but yeah, Caleb Williams. Gardner's great. I think Gardner Minshew is underrated. I didn't realize how, this graphic that's going around is like his stats next to Trevor Lawrence's stats, and they're basically the same. So that's interesting. But yeah, obviously Caleb Williams is better than Gardner Minshew. Bo Nix.
Caleb Williams.
Same thing, Caleb. Bo's. I don't know. He's better. I think he'll be better than advertised. I think.
I think Bo Nix will give a good run for the money for Rookie of the Year.
I agree. I think he'll be number 2, even though I don't think Jaden. I think Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Hall are gonna have pretty good years. Obviously
Any of
JD's
those guys are a good bet,
yeah,
realistically.
yeah. Um, Patrick Mahomes,
There's
the
no
who we
question.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it for lip service, but the GOAT, the future GOAT, as much as I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, I see Patrick Mahomes winning that many. When it when Tom Brady won his 7th, even his 6th, it seemed like that would no one would ever get close. And then you know what I mean, we saw Patrick Mahomes play last year with a pretty I mean, they had a top 10 defense, but a pretty average offense around him, and they looked unstoppable in the playoffs at least. And he's kept it's like, but yes, Patrick Mahomes. Hopefully, we got many head-to-head Super Bowls between Mahomes and Caleb in the future. And then I think this one is close. Justin Herbert.
I don't think it's close at all. It's Justin Herbert for me.
I guess I mean I'm just saying I think talent wise I think I expect Caleb to be like Justin Herbert like when he
Yeah, I
was a
mean, if we're
rookie.
talking
That's what
about
I'm
going
expecting.
into the season,
Yeah,
Justin Herbert's he's a proven commodity.
yeah.
I realistically, I really feel like Justin Herbert, I would take him this year with the weapons that we have and the defense, because Justin Herbert hasn't had, wide receivers that can hold on to the fucking ball except for Keenan Allen, and his
Or stay
defense,
healthy.
yeah, and his defense always finds a way to blow a game. I mean, of course, Matty Eberflus was the same way last year.
Yeah.
But I'm still taking Justin Herbert for this
We'll
upcoming
take
season.
yes. For this season, it's still Justin Herbert. Hopefully next year some of these will change. The AFC North, Deshaun Watson.
I'm taking Caleb Williams.
I will as well. At one time that seemed crazy, but um Deshaun Watson, the time off, the controversy, all that,
He just doesn't look the same.
he's taken multiple steps back. He doesn't look like as Debo called him when we passed on him, and we will forever regret it. Michael Jordan, but he just looks like a guy. And yes, Caleb's better than him, and he's overpaid. So, Joe Burrow.
Oh, it's Joey.
Yes, because prefaced this before and saying, yeah, they're going to be healthy, then I have to say Joe Burrow. But I don't like it. I mean, I think Joe Burrow is a little overrated. Not to think that he's not good. I just think that one Super Bowl run, everyone's like, well, I guess if he's healthy, that's what he would have done every year. Like, I don't think that's true. Like, you know what I mean? But that part I don't get. I think he's really good. He dominated in college. He had a really good year, and they went to the Super Bowl. But yes, I do think Joe or Caleb isn't as good as Joe Burrow. But I do think he is a tad overrated. I think he's just so humble and so likable and Tom Brady-esque that people don't like to talk bad about him. Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to preface this by saying that in this offense with these coordinators, I don't think Lamar Jackson's a fit. Um, it's like the perfect offense for him in Baltimore. I can't see him being a 30-time drop back quarterback if he needs
Well,
to.
I
And
mean,
when
well, you have to prep. You say the preps it, but I mean, if you have Lamar Jackson, you're going to change a little bit of what you do.
yeah, I
So
know. But if we're going off of, this upcoming year, I will take Lamar, but I'm gonna put an asterisk there.
I don't know. I won't put an asterisk. Lamar is amazing, and he's also proven that if he's on a good team, he'll be good. He's got like a 75 0.75 win percentage or whatever the hell is.
I love Lamar Jackson. I
And
don't
he's done it. Well, yeah. I do think there are his peaks. I think it'll be tough for him to win a Super Bowl because people know his downfalls or whatever that is. But I mean, he's two-time MVP. And both those years, he you know what I mean. He didn't do it just all with his legs. He's passed for you know what I mean upwards of 3,000 yards and 25, 30 touchdowns. Um, and last but not least, Fields/Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's Caleb for
yes,
me.
obviously, our polls has made the decision for us already. Probably for the best. It's probably best for Chicago that I wasn't in charge of making that decision. Um, but yeah, obviously, I mean, Justin hasn't looked good. I'm still rooting for him. I mean, realistically, if you like him or not, you should be rooting for him anyway for the Bears because at least we'll get a 4th round draft pick instead of a 6th. And Poles seems to knows what he's doing. So And Russ is washed. I think similar to Deshaun Watson outside of, this controversy. I think Russ is just getting old. He's undersized. He's a family man. He doesn't.
Well,
To
he's
me,
also taken a beating in his
yeah, I was
career.
gonna say he's taking a beating, and he doesn't have like I said, he's a small guy. It's
Yeah.
crazy that he's still up, but and he's not like a. I mean, he's an NFL player, and I'm not one to say talk about anyone's fitness, but he does. He's not like a Jalen Hurts type of swole dude who who can take all those lumps. I just think he's done. I think his body's not, and I think he's had a great career. I think probably a Hall of Famer. I mean, I would have to see the stats side by side against some other ones, but he's got a Super Bowl, so and he's probably the best quarterback in Seahawks history. Um, but all right, AFC South. I think this is a good one. This is the person I think is the most overrated player in the NFL, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he's the most overrated. Um, like I said, I have that for Jalen Hurts, but um, this upcoming season, fuck, man, it's really hard to take Caleb over. I mean, because just basing it off of what you were saying about Baker Mayfield, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards and multiple had a 30 touchdown season or whatever it is.
I think Baker's got a little bit of a bigger sample size than Trevor Lawrence. What is he in like year 7 now?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking just this upcoming year, who would I rather have? I'm gonna say Trevor Lawrence.
I think I'm going to go with Caleb on this one. Like I said before, I think he's overrated. I think Gardner Minshew puts up Trevor Lawrence numbers. I just think he's a good looking guy and he's tall and he had some aura and he was a Heisman winner. But I think he's very overrated. And I think Caleb can come in and do what he did, throw for 4,000 yards and win 9 games. Um, Nothing special. And he was pretty bad as a rookie. Anthony Richardson.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, same thing. Some of the stuff coming out of some of these joint practices, they're saying Anthony Richardson's just Justin Fields but more of a physical freak. But we will see. But I don't think, and I think Richardson's going to get hurt a lot. Will Levis, our week 1 opponent.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, obviously Caleb. Not much to talk about. Will, he's got his mayonnaise and his coffee and his. I think I saw. I don't know if it was parody, but I saw like a mayonnaise cologne or something. I don't know if it was parody, but it was him in a commercial, and it was like I don't know. And then the last team in the AFC South. This is also interesting one. These guys battled it out growing up. Stroud or Caleb Williams.
Right now, I'm taking CJ Stroud.
I think I would have to agree. Me and you both. I mean, prior to the draft and all that stuff, we're high on Stroud. He came in and proved it, and he's got it on paper. And he played very well with just a group of guys at wide receiver. I mean, I like Nico Collins a lot, and I thought he was going to be better than and obviously he has been, but he's still not an elite guy. Tank Dell, 3rd round pick, not an elite guy. Tank Dell got hurt, and then they had Dalton Schultz. Rickety O line, rookie coach.
Nico Collins.
Mid defense, they were pretty. They played solid, but I think it was more they were feeding off CJ and him being good on offense. But yes, I think for this year, I think you would have to take CJ Stroud. But I think moving forward, it would just be a toss up. I think it would just be like, oh, well, Caleb's on our team already, so we're gonna ride with Caleb. And now final division in the AFC. I think a lot of these are interesting. Tua Tagovailoa. I'll give you some time to think. I will say Caleb. I think Tua is a product of his offense. I think Mike McDaniels is a great coach. I think Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers to ever play. I think Jalen Waddle is a number 1 wide receiver on most teams. And I think, like I said, he's playing for the top 3 play caller of the league and surrounded by elite speed.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I don't want to sit here and be a hypocrite myself and say that I would take an unproven rookie over somebody who has done it in the league already with weapons that
I guess
granted
would
a
be
lot.
comparable. Yeah, comparable.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I get you know what I mean. You're right. I mean, but I just think Tua's not it. I mean,
no, I don't
I
think
think it's similar to Purdy. I think Purdy's better than Tua.
I think he's one hit away from it being a career for him. So I will go with Caleb.
Aaron Rodgers, another person Caleb models himself off of.
Yeah, I mean, if again, if this was futures, it's Caleb all day. But if we're talking just one season, we're all in. It's all or nothing with the receivers that we have and the offense that we have and the defense that we have. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. I'll take 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers over a rookie,
Um,
regardless.
I have obviously a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers, but I think I might go Caleb on this one. Aaron Rodgers has been bad the last 2 years he's played, and to take the Achilles out of it, and I won't say bad, just way worse than he normally is, and closer to average. And am I thinking he's going to be better than that after he tears an Achilles? I don't know. I mean, if I think Tom Brady, gives us a little like, oh, Tom Brady was old and he did it, so why can't Aaron Rodgers be old and have a bad Achilles and do it? But I don't think he is. I think the Jets may scrape the playoffs, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 4,000 yards, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to have 30 touchdowns. So I think he's just going to be a guy out there.
Yeah,
No,
no, I just agree with you one thousand
you think he'll
percent.
throw for 4,000 yards?
I think he throws for close to 45, if
No
I'm
way.
being honest.
No,
Yes. Yep.
I don't think so. He didn't
I
do
think
that his last year in the Packers.
I mean,
He was
he doesn't.
healthy, and that was
It
3
doesn't.
years ago.
I'm telling you, I don't know. There's just I think Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys that he needs like a chip on his shoulder to,
Maybe.
what I'm saying. And this being the chip on his shoulder, everybody's calling him washed. I think he's got one good year left in him, and I think
I don't.
he's
I would agree there that I don't. I won't say I don't think he has it in him. It's hard for me to like seeing how he's played the last couple years, and then he fucking ruptures his Achilles and sits out a year after moving on to a new place, and him being better than he was those last 2 years.
I understand that, but Kirk Cousins just tore his Achilles. And granted, he's like 5 years younger, but Kirk Cousins is still getting up there in age as well. And there is no comparison between Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins when it comes to peak play. Kirk Cousins at his absolute peak wasn't even on the same level as Aaron Rodgers.
I just think he's still younger. I just think he's younger. That's all. I mean, yes, I agree with you in all that sense. I just think when you're younger, you bounce back from injuries differently. Um, and Kirk has bounced back from a big injury already once too. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I don't know. I would take I
We
would
haven't
take
seen. I don't know. I don't. Again, I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
like. But all right, Drake May. He
Oh, it's
couldn't even
killing.
beat out Brissett, so obviously,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
that's true. He looked pretty
yeah.
good though. I don't get it. I guess if you're thinking like our team's so bad, we're not going to put him out there because we don't want him to get hurt. But I'm of the mind of, but hey, they fucking ruined Justin Fields doing that and Mr. Trubisky. So I mean, what do I know? Last but not least, Josh Allen.
Oh, it's Josh Allen.
Yes, I would agree with you. Wow, he scored. Yes, USC scores with eight
You're
seconds
cashing
left.
out.
All I needed was them to not lose by 3. So we're good. But Josh Allen, obviously, like I said, not much to talk about. Josh Allen is amazing. He's a MVP all on his own. And we can only hope Caleb is, you know what I mean? If Caleb is 3/4 as good as Josh Allen has been, the Bears have a bright future. So,
Oh, absolutely.
um, but yeah, that was Would You Rather for Caleb Williams. Maybe in the middle of the season or something we'll do, we'll take futures into account. But I mean, honestly, there's really no reason to do one with futures into account because if you're taking off of prospects, there's only, I guess, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Like those are the only two that come to my head where I would 100% say, like, I don't care what happens in 5 years from now, I'd rather have these guys. But yeah. Let's see. Anything else to touch base on? No, it's pretty slow week. Like I said, just some cuts. Some a little bit of hard knocks. Ian Wheeler and Poles had a nice little chat. He told him if he needed him, he talked to him. I think it's tough for that kid. A blessing for Bellis Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get another year of him. I like the way he's played, even in the preseasons, it blows my mind that he hasn't been cut yet from the Bears. But he looked like he could help us at running back. So I don't know about help us, but at least not be a
He'll be
detriment to the team.
serviceable in
Yes,
some
and
way.
hopefully he can find his niche returning kick returns. Anything else?
Well, don't forget to comment if you disagree with any of our would you
Oh
rather.
yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna break this one up so you don't have to watch the whole thing to see all of them. But yes, comment, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know what quarterbacks you would take or not take. But yeah, close it out. The one other thing I wanted to hit on before I left, did you see the Rome Adunze hot dog?
Yeah, they don't. If you eat that and you're at Soldier Field, good luck. You like I hope Chris does not have one of those. Chris is the type that would, and then he's gonna spend the first half in the bathroom.
Oh,
Like, oh, and another thing too, this is completely unrelated to Bears football. This has a lot to do with basketball, but Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year, and I don't
yeah,
care what anybody says otherwise. It's a fucking
yeah.
travesty and a joke.
It's been a weird thing. We talk about it for a little bit because obviously I like the Sky. I'm not really a WNBA fan, so I root for the Chicago team. Obviously, Caitlin Clark's amazing. The way I don't know if it's media people. I don't know if like frame this Caitlin versus Angel Reese thing. It's just weird. Like, and I
It's
think
not even
it's
close.
not. And it's like, when did we start valuing? Like, I've seen this going around, but it's like, did does Luca get compared to Andre Drummond? Like, she
I,
is. Angel Reese
I
is good in her own right, and basketball is more than just, you know what I mean. It's more than just scoring and passing, but Caitlin Clark is amazing. She'll reel the turnovers in. That's her knock against her right now. She's getting 5 turnovers a game. But if you go look, that's what Luca does.
well, it's not even that. If you really break down the tape in terms of Caitlin Clark's turnovers, they're passes that her teammates can't fucking catch.
I think at some point you have to take that account though. Like, if you know this person can't catch, you can't keep throwing them certain passes. But I do agree with you there. I've
They're
seen a lot that
dying.
they dropped, and still she's a rookie though. And Luca would probably say the same thing. I made a good pass and fucking they didn't catch it. But what I am saying is, like, when you're that ball dominant, I'm not holding them against her. I don't care if it was a drop or whatever. It's a turnover. Like, you're out there playing fast pace, you're pushing the ball up, and it's like, you look at Luca. A lot of the guys who have the ball the whole fucking game, they turn the ball up a lot. But Caitlin
Yeah,
Clark is.
it's not even if Asia Wilson was not playing out of her fucking mind this year, Caitlin Clark. I mean, what is she number two in MVP voting
Think
right
she was
now?
3 when I saw, and it was interesting because then
Like,
you see it's like
how is that not
she's number 2 in Rookie of the Year voting, but fucking number 3 in
third in
MVP.
MVP?
Like, how does
How is
that work?
like there's no I don't
I
understand the
think it's
narrative.
like this weird
Not
again, and
even
being as
close.
somebody who's multiracial, I can make comments. It's this weird race thing where, like, it's like racist. They want to hold Angel Reese up in the air for some reason. It's racist not to think Angel Reese is as good as Caitlin Clark. It's like, not a race thing. Caitlin Clark is a trendsetter. There was a black girl who was shooting deep threes and fucking talking shit and leading a small school to victory, they would have been famous. The part is, it's like, that never happens in college basketball. All the best girls play at the best schools.
Mm-hmm.
There are no Steph Currys who went to Davidson, Caitlin Clarks who played at Iowa, who come and dominate in the WNBA, or who are the best player in college. It's always a girl in South Carolina or UConn or Tennessee or LSU. Like, and that's why Caitlin's big, because she wasn't on one of the super teams, and she went toe for toe for them and never even beat them, but she at least went blow for blow with them. And you know what I mean? And she was playing more of a NBA style of play, which we like. The world has said we like that. And they've made it this weird race thing where it's like, oh, and some people are. But again, this is what I don't like either about this. Again, so I'm mixed race, so I say something. When white people cheer for a person, like, why can't white people blindly root for somebody because they're white? Black people do it. Mexican people do it. If there was a fucking Mexican girl in the WNBA, Mexican people would be cheering on her for no reason other than she was Mexican. So it's like, why can't like, even though I don't think it's the case, but it's like, even if it was, white people are cheering for Caitlin Clark because she's white. Why can't they? And I don't think that's the case because Sabrina's in the WNBA. A lot of the best players in the WNBA are white. Diana Taurasi, you know what I mean? She's like the GOAT. Like, fucking Brianna Stewart's the second best player in the WNBA to Asia Wilson. It's like, she's white. It's not a race. Like, people like Caitlin Clark for other reasons outside of being white. There's always been really good white players in the WNBA, and fucking people weren't creating race wars about it. But I'm interested to see how the WNBA evolves, and if they'll take Caitlin in stride and embrace her instead of trying to fucking girls are just catty, and you guys call them, but like they should be embracing her. Dudes aren't catty. They obviously, if like Luca comes in, they bully him, they talk a little shit, but they're like off the court. Anytime they're asked about him, they're praising him. The kid's amazing. He's gonna be the next greatest player in this league. And the girls don't want to admit that Caitlin's gonna. I mean, she's already shattered so many records. And if they, and the only thing the only knock against her is turnovers. Like nobody give a fuck about turnovers. LeBron leads the fucking history in turnovers. Like anybody who plays for a long time and has the ball all the time is gonna have lots of fucking turnovers. That's basketball.
But
But
yeah, that
all
was
right,
our NBA rant.
yeah,
So
WNBA rant.
I
We won't do
don't
many.
get it.
Once every 3 months. But like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. This will be going up on Labor Day, which I kind of wanted to do anyway. And we will see you guys next week, a day or two, maybe the night of the game, the day after for sure. And I'll see you soon, buddy.
I'll see you soon.
All right, so, there we go.